What up, guys? Thank you for joining me and Vegito and Gogeta as we talk about John Wick Chapter 4. By now, I'm hoping Jovi's video is already up. We're in different cities, actually, which is why we had to separate for this one. But he has his thoughts. I'm about to give mine. All right, y'all. So we are 4 movies into this John Wick world, and the action, as you can imagine, stupendous. Let's just get that out the way. It's spectacular, top notch, not in its own class, state of the art, whatever you want to say. It's the best. And this time, I actually like the story behind it. I can get with. So the first one, right? Simple story. You kill my dog. I'm going to kill 88 people because you did that. The second one, they added more lore to it. They introduced us to markers. And second and third one, honestly, they introduced us like to markers and the high table and John's debt and how you keep no one, everyone is beneath the table and all that stuff. And while I enjoyed the films, they just didn't hit as hard as the first one. And then this one. This one is, I'm gonna say, if it's not my favorite, it is my favorite right after the first one. Dude is on a revenge quest. At the end of 3, the high table screwed him and he is out for blood. The movie starts with him basically killing someone that he shouldn't kill, and now the high table is after him and they hire a guy to take him down. Um, I'm gonna get what I didn't like out the way first because it's very simple. There is a one scene, just one that I can actually remember, where John Wick does something that is very Fast and the Furious, like I'll say, where he just does something and gets up and walks away, and it's like, bro, how can you do that? Seriously, and that's it. That's the only negative thing I can have outside of maybe it's not as good as the first one, but I have to think about that. So what was great? I mean, obviously the action. There are 14 action sequences. I'll get to those in a bit. But what I like about this movie is it just continued the trend of the other ones of like world building but not revealing too much, right? Like we understand there's a high table, John's under it. We get introduced to new assassins and this whole other assassin world, right? Like more things about it. But like a new character, Donnie Yen, who plays a blind assassin, an old friend of John's. It's like he gave his eyes to the table because he made a deal with them. Well, I mean, obviously you're gonna ask, well, what was the deal? Why'd you have to give up your eyes? The same way, you still don't know what John's impossible task was to get out of service to the table. Um, the Continentals. Who created these? Why are there rules there? Who exactly are the High Table? These 12 people, and like, how did they become so powerful? You have all these questions, but the thing I love about it is they're not annoying. They're more intriguing. Like you actually want to know more. And 4 movies in, you're still asking these questions, and it's still like not a bad thing. All the spin-offs this movie wants to do, I will be here for it. I know they're doing a ballerina one. Donnie Yen's character, they want to give him a spin-off. I'm there for it. Hiroyuki Sanada, he's a guy. I just said the name of the hotel. He's a hotel owner, just like Ian McShane's character Winston, and his daughter plays Hiroyuki Sanada's daughter plays a big role in this movie. They want to give her a spin-off. They'll give it to her. I'm there for it too. Continental. The name of the hotel is Continental. I knew it started with a C. Anyway, all these characters are so good, but the two I really want to focus on are the main bad guy appointed by the High Table. His name is played by Bill Skarsgård, who the dude just he hasn't missed with me. I mean, from his turn as Pennywise to he was recently in this movie Barbarian, very good. I'm pretty sure we haven't reviewed it on camera, but we should. It was really good. And now this. The dude is like he's like a peacock. He is stupendous. Like I was watching with somebody and the dude nudged me. I was like, "Yo, are you seeing this guy's suits? Like this, like the way he would dress, the way he would speak. He's a Frenchman in the movie. Like the he was so direct and so curt, and he had like these little sayings and these little mannerisms that were just they were befitting for a man of his title, I guess. And he played that role perfectly, man. He was a really, really good bad guy. But by far my favorite addition to this movie has to be a character they call Nobody. His name is Mr. Nobody. Um, and he is a tracker, a hunter. Like, he keeps finding John when no one else can, and he won't kill him though, because he wants to kill John, but not until a certain condition is met. Like, he won't kill him until the bounty is high enough. Another, thing of intrigue. You're curious about why he needs to kill someone with this high bounty. So, like, at the beginning of the movie, I think John's head is worth like 18 million. Then throughout the movie, as he does his John Wick thing, it goes to 20 million and 22 million and 26 million. And Mr. Nobody won't kill him until it reaches a certain number. And because of that, he will not let John die and will not let anyone else kill him. So he basically is like his guardian angel for a large part of the movie, honestly. And if they give him a spinoff, I will be first in line for that. I loved his character. Then, of course, there's the action. The action, which is really the star of this movie. I mean, honestly, Keanu, if you took all of Keanu's lines in this film and you just combined them together and you ran that, if that time lasted more than 20 minutes, I would be shocked. Keanu barely spoke in this 3.5 hour, or I'm sorry, woo, that's long, in this 3 hour movie, and it was amazing. I think I read an article that said he spoke under 400 words, which sounds right. All he needs to say is, yeah, right? So he did his thing. And the action, the cinematography, which does not get enough credit, did its thing. My favorite scene by far, both of them actually, let me say this, my favorite two scenes both take place in the third act. You've probably heard by now about, there's a scene that involves steps where John has to go up like 200 steps to reach his goal, and he's fighting the entire way up the steps. Fantastic. Fantastic scene. The steps and everything he does before the steps, like he's actually fighting in the middle of rush hour traffic to get to these steps and then going up them. That was great. But I think the scene that takes the cake for me is one that it was basically a video game. It's John and Mr. Nobody. They're like in an abandoned warehouse fighting off all these thugs, and the camera switches to a top down view, so it's kind of like a StarCraft or Diablo, and you see it. It looks like, I don't think it is, but it looks like it was shot in one take, where you see John just go from room to room to room, clearing it out. Oh, I could watch that scene literally. So, like, I would actually pay to go to this movie just to watch that. Just to watch that scene. I would enjoy everything else I saw, but that in itself is worth the price of admission, y'all. I could gush about the rest of the movie. I could gush for 2 hours and 40 minutes about this film and talk about every single action scene, because they were all good. They were all good. This movie doesn't disappoint. Like I said, it might be my favorite. I really have to watch the first one again. And yeah, I'm giving this one's a 4.5 out of 5 for me, guys. Like, seriously, 4 movies in, I can't wait for number 5. That's all I can say. There is an extra credit scene. Make sure you stick around and watch it, because I think that this is the first. No, I know this is the first one that has an after credit scene. So if you haven't seen it yet, make sure you stick around. Then come back here and talk to me in the comments. Go to Joey's video, talk to him in the comments. And like I said, guys, thank you so much for watching. And until next time, I'm out.